Hey there, Facebook. It's ABC7's Jesse Kirsch. I'm at Chicago Executive Airport in Wheeling right now. Behind me, a DC-3 airplane sponsored by Breitling. So they are working on taking this plane around the world. They're circumnavigating the globe with what they're calling the oldest circumnavigation for an airplane, because this craft behind me is 77 years old. It made its first flight in March of 1940. It was originally a commercial airliner for American Airlines, and now it is up in the skies again, working its way around the world. And today, it flew across the Chicago skyline. So you might have seen us up there. I was in the plane a short time ago, and we're going to have that full story later on abc7chicago.com. But right now, I'm going to give you a tour, walk you through the plane, and you're going to get to meet the captain of this plane. So I'm going to turn the camera around and give you a tour. So as you can see, and we'll just do a quick turn to the front here, we're looking at a twin propeller plane. So there are two giant propeller engines. These are the originals from 1940, and they are still in use on this plane that is making its way across the globe. So now we're going to go inside. You see, this isn't how we get on planes anymore very often. And that's the view when you hop on. So here we are inside the main cabin now. You can see there's a lot of space in the middle. You might say, wow, that's really a lot of legroom. That's intentionally, seats were taken out. So originally this had 30 seats on board for passengers, but they've since removed 16 of those to make room in the middle for extra fuel tanks. The captain told me just a few moments ago that's because the DC-3 originally configured, could fly for 8 hours. They can go 14 on this plane. So they've had to make a few changes in addition to that. The new seats are new. The seats that remain are new to meet current standards so they can have passengers on board, and they updated some of the navigation instruments as well, but the majority of this craft is as original from 1940. So we're gonna hop into the cockpit now and say hi to Captain Francisco. Captain, how's it going?
It's going great here, thank you.
So, give everyone a quick look around. So, if you don't mind, why don't you just point out some of the big features of this for flight buffs and anyone who's been on a plane, stuff they'll recognize, stuff they won't.
Yeah, well, we're inside the DC-3 cockpit right here. So here we have just some switches that allow us to start the battery, for example. Some lights here, cabin outside, and the ice protection, which has been disconnected of this plane. And here we have all the starting system, and here we have the radios, and we have the electrical equipment right here. So that's the electrical panel, giving us the amps on the generators. And then right here in the front of us we have what we call the flight instruments. That's what allows the pilot to fly through the skies, navigate, and we have the airspeed indicator, the altimeter, and the heading right here. And that's the vertical speed, telling us if we climb or if we descend.
Now, I know you mentioned a lot of this has been updated to meet current standards, but some of it's original. The yoke?
Yeah, exactly. Everything you see here is original, except of course the flight instruments and the navigation equipment that has been modernized. This is done to today's standards, but the yoke, the throttles here, and all the levers that you see in the cockpit, these are all original from 1940.
And you mentioned that it takes a little extra strength to make this plane go.
It does. I mean, you know, the airplane is not as easy as it is to fly a modern jet. Modern jets have servos. They're assisted with computers. There's no computers here.
There's also not a lot of AC in this plane either. So how has it been going across the globe? And you mentioned in summer because you need good weather to fly this.
Well,
so how do you keep cool?
Well, you know, you said there is no AC. There actually is AC, and that's right here. Look, works great. So you can just open the void.
There, we got one on this side too, so I'll show you. So, look at that. Ever been on a plane where you could, I don't know if you can ever, oh man, that's a good breeze too.
Right, so, you know, that's the way we get air conditioning on board. We just crack the window open during flight, and which we can do, and then we get fresh air from outside.
That's pretty cool. Well, Francisco, thank you so much for showing us around the plane.
It's a pleasure.
You're about 3/4 of the way through your trip right now, right?
That is correct. We still have 1 month to go before reaching Switzerland, our home base.
All right, so we're going to have the full story on this later today on abc7chicago.com, but here's one last look at the cockpit for you, and thanks for tuning into this Facebook Live, everybody. Have a great afternoon.